We have spent 4 episodes calling a large language model a next token predictor, and that is true, but it hides something. When the model gets to the moment of choosing the next token, it does not actually have one answer in hand. It has thousands of candidates, each with a different probability, and somebody has to decide which one to pick. That decision is not part of the model's intelligence. It is a separate step, controlled by a couple of settings most people never touch, and those settings are the difference between an AI that is rigid and predictable and one that is loose and surprising. They are the closest thing these systems have to a creativity dial. So let us finally get our hands on them, with temperature and top P. Quick note before we dig in. If you find this useful, subscribe and drop a topic you want explained in the comments. Now, let us get into it. To understand the dials, you first have to see what the model really hands you at each step, because it is not a word. Remember from episode 1, the model reads everything so far and predicts what comes next. But its actual output is not a single token. It is a probability for every single token in its vocabulary, all 200,000 of them at once. Imagine you typed, "The sky is," and asked the model what comes next. Internally, it produces something like blue at 60%, clear at 12%, falling at 5%, a dim glow of probability spread across thousands of other words, and a vanishingly small sliver on something absurd like sandwich. That full spread of probabilities is the model's real output. Everything we are about to talk about is just the rule for turning that spread into one actual choice. That rule is called sampling. So here's the whole idea in one sentence. Sampling is how the model picks one token from the thousands of candidates it scored, and temperature and top P are the two dials that control how adventurous or how safe that pick is. The simplest possible rule is to always grab the single highest scoring token, no matter what. That is called greedy decoding, and it sounds smart, but it has a problem. It is utterly predictable. The same prompt always gives you the exact same answer, word for word, and the text often comes out flat and repetitive because the model keeps reaching for the safest, most obvious continuation every single time. Real language is not the safest word every time. So instead of always taking the top pick, we roll a weighted dice across the candidates, where more likely tokens are more likely to be chosen but not guaranteed. And that is exactly where temperature comes in. Temperature is a single number, usually somewhere between 0 and 2, that reshapes the spread of probabilities before the dice is rolled. The name is borrowed from physics, and the picture is genuinely useful. Think of low temperature as cold and still, and high temperature as hot and agitated. At a low temperature, near 0, the model sharpens the spread. It exaggerates the gap between the favorite and everything else, so the top candidate becomes almost certain to win. The output gets focused, consistent, and safe. Turn temperature all the way to 0, and you are essentially back to greedy decoding, the same answer every time. Now turn temperature up toward 1 and beyond. The model flattens the spread. It shrinks the gap between the strong candidates and the weak ones, giving those less likely words a real fighting chance to be picked. The output gets more varied, more surprising, and more creative, but also more likely to wander somewhere strange or simply wrong. So temperature is not adding knowledge or imagination. It is purely tuning how willing the model is to gamble on a less obvious word. Cold and cautious, or hot and adventurous. Now temperature has a weakness on its own, and fixing it is exactly what the second dial does. When you crank temperature high to get more creativity, you flatten the whole spread, which means you also give a little life to the genuinely terrible options way out in the tail. Remember that tiny sliver of probability sitting on sandwich after the sky is? A high temperature can lift junk like that just enough that, once in a while, the dice lands on nonsense. We want creativity from the reasonable candidates, not from the garbage. That is the job of top P, also called nucleus sampling. Here is how top works, and it is clever. Instead of fixing how many candidates you consider, you fix how much probability you are willing to cover. You line up all the candidate tokens from most to least likely, and you walk down the list adding up their probabilities until you have collected, say, 90% of the total. Then you stop, Throw away the entire long tail beneath that line and only let the dice roll across the survivors. So a top HOC of 0.9 means consider the most likely options that together make up 90% of the probability and ignore everything else. The beauty is that this list resizes itself automatically. When the model is very confident, maybe 2 or 3 tokens already cover 90%, so you sample from just those few. When the model is genuinely uncertain and the probability is spread thin across many plausible words, the list grows to include all of them. Top P keeps the reasonable options in play and cuts off the nonsense, no matter how high you push temperature. You will also sometimes meet a simpler cousin called Top K, which just says heap the top K candidates, like the top 40, and drop the rest. It does the same basic job but with a fixed count instead of a flexible probability budget, so it is a little blunter. In practice, you use temperature and top P together, and the combination is the whole point. Temperature decides how much you exaggerate or flatten the odds. Top P decides how wide a pool you are even allowed to draw from. Low temperature with a tight top P is a careful, focused, near-deterministic model. Higher temperature with a generous top P gives you a playful one that still stays inside the lines of sense. So when should you turn the dials which way? This is the part that actually changes your results. When you want one correct answer, turn the temperature down low, near 0. Extracting data from a document, writing code, doing math, pulling a fact, answering a factual question, classifying something. Anything where there is a right answer and creativity is a liability. You want the model boring and repeatable here, and a low temperature gives you that. When you want options and surprise, turn the temperature up. Brainstorming names, writing a story, drafting marketing copy, coming up with 10 different angles on an idea. Here, sameness is the enemy, and a little wandering is exactly what you are paying for. Most chat apps hide these dials and pick a sensible middle setting for you, somewhere around 0.7, which is why a creative request and a factual one feel roughly similar out of the box. But the moment you build on a model through its programming interface, these become 2 of the first knobs you reach for, and getting them wrong is a common, invisible cause of bad output. A coding tool left on a high temperature will write subtly different, flakier code every run. A brainstorming tool stuck near 0 will hand you the same dull list every time. And this finally explains the thing you have surely noticed. Why does the same question give you different answers? Because unless the temperature is pinned at 0, there is real randomness in that final dice roll. Each time you ask, the model re-rolls across its candidates, and a different but still plausible token can win, sending the rest of the answer down a slightly different path. It is not confusion, and it is not the model changing its mind. It is sampling doing exactly what you set it to do. If you ever truly need the identical answer every time, you set temperature to 0, and many systems also let you fix a starting seed for the randomness, which nails the output down completely. So how does this land depending on who you are? As an individual, you mostly feel the dials through the default, but the lesson is real. If a model keeps giving you the same tired answer, you want more heat. If it keeps drifting off into invented details when you needed precision, you want less. And if your tool exposes a temperature setting, you now know which way to move it. As a startup building on a model, temperature and top P are part of your product's personality and reliability, and you tune them per feature. Your support bot that must quote a policy correctly runs cold. Your headline generator runs warm. Getting this right is often the cheapest quality fix you have, no new model required. And as a large enterprise, these settings become a matter of consistency and auditability. For a system that must give every customer the same answer to the same question, or whose output gets reviewed and logged, you pin the temperature low so the behavior is repeatable and defensible, rather than a fresh gamble on every call. So let us bring it home. At every step, the model produces a probability for every possible token, and sampling is the rule that turns that whole spread into one real choice. Temperature reshapes the spread, cold and focused or hot and adventurous, and top prims the pool down to only the candidates worth considering, cutting off the nonsense in the tail. Together, they are the real controls behind an AI's so-called creativity, and they explain why the same prompt can answer differently every time. We have now followed a token from being chopped out of your text to becoming meaning, to fitting inside a limited window, to being chosen by a roll of weighted dice. But we've kept deferring the one question underneath all of it. How does the model actually weigh everything you have said to decide what is likely to come next? How does it know that Tokyo should pull the answer toward Japanese? That is the engine at the center of every modern model, the mechanism we have promised you since episode 1, and in the next episode we finally take it apart. Attention. That is the core of it. If this helped, hit like and subscribe, ring the bell for the next deep dive, and tell me in the comments what you want broken down next. Thanks for watching.